Greetings. My name is Garnet Schulhauser, and I am the author of Dancing Forever with Spirit. I would like to read an excerpt from chapter 14 of this book entitled, Even the Bad Guys Go to Heaven. I was still somewhat troubled by Albert's assertion in my first book that murderers and terrorists all return to the spirit side when they die. Like most people, I was raised with strong views about what was right or wrong. I expected that people who breached the laws of the country would be punished for their misdeeds, which I believed to be fair and just. The Catholic Church had also taught me that anyone who committed a sin and did not make amends before leaving this world would be judged and punished by God. Given this background, the thought that a murderer would return to the spirit side after death seemed hard to swallow. So, on his very next visit, I decided to ask Albert to explain once more why bad people went to heaven. Why do murderers return to the spirit side when they die? I pressed him. Why should the bad people end up in the same place as the good people? And if I know the source will not punish me for bad behavior on earth, why would I choose to be good? Albert looked at me like my mother often did when I asked why it was time for bed. Let me begin by answering your second question first. Although the source does not make rules for humans to follow on earth and does not punish them for anything they do, human societies have made their own laws to maintain peace and security for their citizens. Humans must obey these rules or they will be punished by their secular governments. So even if you believe there will be no punishment for your crimes in the afterlife, you will still need to follow the laws of the land to avoid punishment on earth. But even if there were no secular laws in your country, most people would not commit serious crimes because it would be contrary to their innate sense of right and wrong, which stems from the messages they get from their guides and their higher self. If your government announced one day that they had repealed the crime against murder, most people would not go out and kill someone because intuitively they know it to be wrong. There would be exceptions to this pattern of conduct, however, just as there are exceptions on your planet today where murders are committed on a regular basis even though it is prohibited by secular laws. The view that murderers should suffer some form of punishment in the afterlife is understandable, but misguided. You are looking at things from an earthly perspective and basing your beliefs on what you have been taught all of your life. Once you cross over to the spirit side, you will understand what life on earth is really all about and why criminals are not punished in the afterlife. In reality, your planet is like a grand theater and all humans are acting in a play. You scripted your role in this play when you prepared your life plan, and you continue to write and rewrite your part through your free will actions on earth. Imagine that you are acting in a play on earth and the script requires you to stab and kill another actor. When the curtain goes down and you leave the theater, you will not be arrested by the police for murder because it was just a play and the murder did not really happen. Likewise, when the soul of a murderer returns to the spirit side, it will not be punished for this deed, since the souls on the spirit side understand that humans are acting in a grand play, and the crimes committed on earth are part of this play. Nothing that happens on earth is for keeps, and there are no lasting effects that carry over to the spirit side other than the memories and wisdom gained from each incarnation. The soul of the murder victim will feel no hatred or anger toward the perpetrator, who will be forgiven without hesitation and embraced with unconditional love. Why do murders happen on earth? I inquired. Are they all set out beforehand in our life plans? Humans inflict injury or death on others for one of two reasons. Sometimes it was planned before incarnation and incorporated into the life plans of the souls involved. In these cases, either the soul to be murdered wanted to experience a violent death as part of its evolution, or the souls of the victim's loved ones wanted to learn how to cope with the brutal death of a family member as part of their life lessons. In order to fulfill these desires, they would have recruited another soul to play the part of the villain. In other situations, the murder was not planned before birth, and the crime was committed when the free will actions of the perpetrator were unduly influenced by uncontrollable negative emotions. These occurrences are considered a part of life on earth, and the murderer is not denigrated because all souls know that negative emotions will often cause humans to stray off course. Souls that choose to incarnate on earth fully expect to encounter harmful actions from time to time as a result of free will actions running amok. So what happens in a murderer's life review, I wondered. It is the same as all other life reviews. If the murder was a planned event, the soul of the perpetrator will understand it was merely following the script. If the murder was not planned, the soul will carefully analyze the events that led to this crime in order to better understand what caused it to veer so far off course. The soul of the murderer will not feel guilty or embarrassed because it will understand the true nature of life on earth. You make it all sound so simple and carefree, I countered. That is because you are accustomed to treating everything that happens on earth too seriously. If you flub your lines in a school play, you will likely laugh at your mistake when your part is over. You must try to think of life on earth in a similar fashion. You need to lighten up and enjoy your journey, since you cannot go wrong or become lost. You will always return to the spirit side regardless of how well you played your part on earth. And you can return to earth as often as you like until you are satisfied with your performance. It was difficult for me to argue with his logic, which was usually the case whenever I challenged Albert to explain why so many of the things I had been taught as a child were fallacious.